Countdown to the union budget, pre-budget meetings with the finance minister and top officials were conducted. The question of the hour is what were the recommendations made by experts from the employment and skill development sectors as well. My colleague Prakash Priyadarshi caught up with a lot of them. Listen into what makes it to their budget wish list then.
Industry, if they are putting skill labs, then it to be incentivized in some form. Might be tax reduction or might be little bit of grant and all that. So,
since you were representing CREDAI, so anything specific on the housing sector?
see, basically we have made suggestion on our skilling this thing, and skill labs we have suggested that skill lab need to be put up at village level so that people at source can learn the skilling and that can be bring to the mainstream.
Tax incentives that the government may provide to the employer.
Basically, we have made suggestion that skill, this thing labor says, need to be utilized on skilling. And as far as tax suggestion is concerned, if someone is putting skill lab at their site, they need to incentivize.
There is a 16% year-on-year growth in the formal employment numbers, wherein new job seekers are being brought into the formal contract workforce. Now, these numbers can easily be grown further if the employment services as a category can be reduced from an 18% GST to a 5% GST. This employment is almost as much as a basic necessity as is food and housing for any individual.
The government should also come out with the kind of PLI scheme for the job sector where the more incentives should be given to the employee or the company in a case of generation of more jobs. So in a similar kind of recommendation, any such recommendation that you have made?
There is already a 80JJAA scheme that is there for new employment generation, where we have requested the threshold can be increased from a 25,000 to a 50,000, which will encourage not only more job creation to happen, but women workers to come back who after maternity or family break are not able to be inculcated back into the workforce willingly, and there is a perceived disadvantage. The employers will find it very encouraging if there is some incentive given to them.
One of the areas where we really need to focus on is how to skill people and how to improve the quality of people we have. And so basically the discussion was on that what are the suggestions, and there were people from different industries who talked about from construction, from people working in the gig economy, agriculture, and the suggestions what the finance ministry wanted is that how can we improve increase employment and improve skilling. I will not talk about specifics. One on the finance side, that where can we give incentives, for example, or invest more in ITIs, incentive for employees for improving their skilling. So there were a lot of what the budget can do, and the other is on the policy side, that how can we encourage and fund more.
Anything on taxation?
Yeah, I won't know the specifics, but there were a lot of suggestions on taxation. For example, how to if companies are putting money into training and skilling, they should get some tax incentives on that side, and how to encourage industry to put more money in skilling and training.
All right, well, let's move on then. And with weeks to go for the union budget, auto component makers have submitted their recommendations seeking a hike in depreciation rates on plant and machinery from 15% to 25%, and also rationalizing GST on EVs and other components. My colleague Sumit Chaturvedi has more details on the budget wish list from the entire automobiles industry. Listen in.
Auto component sector of India is aiming for a big relief for them in the budget, upcoming budget, and they have released some of their demands. Well, this includes, first of all, increasing depreciation on assets including plant and machinery from 15% to 25%, and bringing down GST rate on EV and components and battery parts from around 18% to around 5%. Well, GST part definitely comes under GST Council, and meeting decides it. However, they are still hoping for some relief in budget from that. PLI, the production-linked incentive schemes, have also given overall relief to the auto component sector, and they hope this scheme will be considered continued and be made more flexible to give them more leeway when it comes to asking for more relief from the government. So these are the main demands made by auto component sector. And they are also saying that it will help them. The savings in GST will help them, and also in depreciation on plant and machinery will help them in making more and more capital expenditure. We're also learning from our sources in the finance ministry, some of this can be given as well, because auto component sector is a big generator of employment, gives a lot of jobs as well. That's why some of these demands could be met in the upcoming budget.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.